Hi, everyone. My name is Bruce, and today we are with a girl, some guys, and a movie.
And a
Janet
bear.
from Another Planet, Six Nations, 31 Kings, Mr. Bear, and myself. We just watched the movie called Krull.
Mhm.
Janet, your first time watching it. And by
Yeah,
the way, you look very lovely today. How did you
thank you.
like this?
I loved it. It was I was enthralled with the whole movie. That was very very good. I was impressed. Put it that way. I can't believe I hadn't seen it before.
Neither can I.
It's epic.
Yeah, it was. I was impressed.
So, I guess before we go much further, your Barmy says the obvious Happy Easter.
Oh,
Today
happy
is Easter
Easter.
Sunday.
Ivory, Burberster,
Bibber, 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 bibber.
Merstimer.
I don't have my chef's hat. I can't do the Swedish chef as well as I'd like to. Um, no, I this movie came out in what, 83, 84?
Mhm.
83, 84, yeah, they're around then, yeah.
Yeah.
83, 83.
And we were just talking about the James Horner soundtrack, which is the thing I remember most about this movie. I I fucking love this soundtrack to this film. I used to listen to this whenever we would just drive, and it was a good time. Easily one of the biggest parts of the film for me is the soundtrack. Listening to the Janet talk last week, she made mention with the fact that she had never seen this movie before, so we scrapped whatever plans we had. And should we be able to broadcast on Easter Sunday, this is the movie we'd discuss, and thus we are here now.
Mhm. Yeah, the music was breathtaking. I mean, it was. You could tell that he wanted to give this epic feeling throughout the movie, and the music never took me out of any of the scenes or anything. So, I mean, some of the scenes of the valley with the horses running through it and stuff were just. I was just wishing I was on one of those horses riding it because it was just so beautiful. I don't know
Clydesdale.
where they filmed, but it was beautiful.
Clydesdale.
Yes.
Italy?
Oh,
Yeah, the
have you ever
horses were
seen?
from England.
You ever
They
seen
saw,
a real one?
yeah, they're huge.
Oh, they're
They're
beautiful
massive.
though. Oh,
Yeah,
gorgeous.
they're about the only horse I look proper on. The Clydesdales were British, and they had to import them down to Italy to shoot all those scenes.
Hmm.
And the horses had passports
Oh,
to be able to get into Italy, which is too funny. Too
just the
funny.
thought of
There,
standing in that gully, the in between the mountains and hearing all the thundering hoof prints, I just got goosebumps. But you got to remember, I had a horse when I was in high school, and I rode. I barrel raced and trail rided and things like that, and it was just, I just felt like a young girl again watching this movie. It was just gorgeous.
Nice.
Six Nations.
Me too. It was awesome.
I
This movie
You've seen this
was
movie about like
I
myself, maybe
hardly like.
about 10, 12 times, right?
Yeah, it was on TV a lot. I had the VHS and destroyed it. It was it was a staple for me growing up. Like you got uh, what's his face,
Marshall?
Ken Marshall.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's doing his best impersonation of Errol Flynn.
Yep.
You got the fantasy trope, so it's the rivalry kingdoms coming together to thwart Darth Vader and his Fortress of Doom, and it covers science fantasy.
It
It's got
tried.
Cyclops. I think it rocks, and it's held up. Like the special effects, the practical effects, top notch.
Did you see what Coco said?
Yeah. Poor,
It's hilarious.
poor Colin.
Oh,
That's what happens when you marry a ginger and you don't cover your bases first.
As a ginger, I find that statement highly appropriate.
Well, she was
And by the way, I just learned for the first time today that Ken Marshall is Eddington on DS9. I'm blown away by that. I never knew that. Thanks, Coco. Appreciate that.
well, I don't know who was in charge, but whoever was in charge of getting the animals and corralling them and doing all the things for that part of the movie, they should have got an Academy Award. That's how good that was. It was beautiful. I mean, the tiger was just gorgeous. The horses were beautiful. The little puppy dog, I was just going, oh my God, that little beagle, or whatever it was. It
It
was
was the
so
best
cute.
sound.
Oh, he was so cute. That little boy almost started crying when he made that little wish come true for that little boy. I just thought that was so adorable. And so he's my favorite character in the movie. The little wizard, the young, guy that wanted to
Urgo
be
the
a powerful.
Magnificent.
Oh, he was awesome. I just
Titch.
loved it. Yeah. Titch was a little boy though, wasn't he?
Yep. Titch means
Yeah.
small
Yeah.
with British slang.
Urgo the Magnificent. He was truly magnificent.
Yeah,
there.
the wizard, the
Trying to
young
impress
wizard
us.
guy. Oh, I've seen him in other things. I kept every time I saw him, I kept thinking, what movie was he in? But I loved him and just how adorable he was, even though he tried to act all mean and snotty and stuck up. He just was, every time he did anything, he did it for a purpose, to help somebody else. And it was just, I just loved him. He was my favorite in this movie. He was wonderful. He was a wonderful person. I wish I knew someone like him in real life. It would be great.
Yeah, we really
Yeah,
don't have
David
a lot of information about little Graham McGrath. There's not a whole lot of info out there about the young boy that played the boy actor in this film. He stopped acting shortly before the 1990s, and I'm searching up Wikipedia and other lines right now, but it looks like he pretty much got out of it. He did the BBC soap opera EastEnders for 3 episodes in 1999. He's been continually active in entertainment and primarily in the made the transition from child to adult actor in native England. He's probably a stage actor.
Yeah, probably. Well, a lot of them are Royal Shakespeare.
Yeah, it wasn't like that. The majority of like 3/4 of the cast, maybe 80% of the cast here, Bear.
Well, it's the secret of Hawk the Slayer, right? You hire
Yes.
Royal Shakespeare, and all your side characters are going to be amazing, and your leads from America are going to kind of suck.
Hey! Do not besmirch Jack Palance in that movie.
Innkeeper! Yeah.
That was one thing, though. I'm sorry.
I never got to do my turn, you guys. Jeez.
Go ahead.
No, I don't want to anymore. I've seen the movie probably about 60 times. It's one of my favorites. It's actually really good with riff tracks, too, by the way. It's really good. But I did want to say the most important 2 things you need to know. The first is that a girl of ancient name will become queen. She will take a king, and together they will rule our world, and their son shall rule the galaxy. And then the most important thing, of course, is that I am Urgo the Magnificent, short of stature, tall in power, narrow of purpose, and wide of vision. And I do not travel with peasants and beggars. Goodbye. Urgo is awesome. He's a great character.
Yeah, I loved him.
The guy who played the giant was also the Cyclops was the giant in Hawk the Slayer. So you get that cross-pollination right there between the actor. And he apparently was on like
6'7" or something.
6'7", but for this they put him on platform shoes, which is crazy. So he was probably standing about, 7, close to 7 feet probably in this. He was on 3 or 4 inch platforms, I think. So crazy tall. Anyway, that's it. I love the movie. It's a great movie. I have nothing more to say. It's a great movie. It's very good. I like the Cyclops. One eye, you think he'd have troubles, but he does all right. Does good. Sacrifices himself. Great guy.
And this movie is a standard, atypical D&D adventure brought to a movie script, I think.
Well, so the rumor was that this was supposed to be one of the scripts pitched to Gygax for the D&D movie in 1980, 81, something like that. He claims it's not, But let's also keep in mind, one, Gygax was a known liar, and two, he was coked out of his fucking skull in 1981. I'm sure he can't even remember, where he lived, let alone what scripts he looked at. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I could
Probably.
agree with that. He
But-
was.
But the fact that they gave him all that money to be able to make this movie, somebody believed in him.
The worst part is that this movie suffers from producer interference on high levels.
Mhm.
If you read the original script, Dragons of Krull, it's really good. It's really, really good script. It's not bad at all. It's a good fantasy script. Most of the beats are still there, but the Slayers aren't from another planet. This was producers going, well, sci-fi is very popular, so it's got to be, let me put some sci-fi in there.
Mhm.
And then the Lizette Anthony getting her voiceover dubbed by Lindsay Cruz, because they thought people would be more attracted to an American leading lady than a British one. Like, good God. The 80s. Oh, well.
I know. That's one of the things I've mentioned a few times on Bruce and I's different reviews is the fact that you'll have a really good script and really good characters, and then you're sitting around filming a scene, and all of a sudden somebody comes walking in, you see him talk to the director, and then all of a sudden they're moving everything around to add somebody's kid. Or someone's wife, into a scene. So it changes everything. The whole thing all changes, and everybody has to just, move or get out of the way, or they're no longer in the movie because this other person got their part, all because of a producer. So they do make differences that sometimes are for the worst. But they're the ones that paying the bills. So, the director is always right, even though they're shuffling people around like chess pieces. But that happens a lot.
So, good conversation, guys. I guess we're done. We all liked the movie. It was good. Yay.
Well, Phil McCracken, he's saying that I'm wearing white. Yes, I am representing the princess that was about to marry and was kidnapped, since she was basically the only woman in the movie.
No, the Widow of the Web.
But besides the two wenches that serviced and fed and then left, and then he died.
Yeah.
But that line I loved when he said that he was faithful as my middle name. And he had 8 wives. I thought that was great. So, there was some really good little
I
lines.
just downloaded the script. I'm going to read it later on.
He just got around. That's all. I mean, he was practical.
Well, I can understand it, though, in that era where they lived. He had to travel such far distances to do anything. And, you might be a year before, you'd see a woman again, or your woman. So you'd have to have like one here, one over there, whatever. As long as the women didn't care, they didn't seem to mind. I mean, she came and served all those people food when he asked her. So there you go. Different times.
I don't know.
I just think back, like during colonial times. Let's say you wanted a handcrafted table, something really big. You got a business going. You want to impress your clients, so you go and write a letter. I need these specifications. Here's the money. You give it to the kid to send it to the post, and then they go and hop on a ship. And then 6 months later, they end up in England. A couple of days later, maybe a week, it gets to where it's going. It takes a month or so to produce that table, and then they go and ship it back. So like a year and a half, maybe 2 years later, you get your table. Like it was a
and
little
it's
bit
the wrong
slower-paced.
color. Oh, gods.
Or the wrong wood.
By the way, I heard that something happened this week. At one time, Janet experimented, and her bard played the dirge before the TPK.
Totally accurate. Completely 100% accurate.
I've never seen that before.
It's on Twitter now.
Well, I didn't know what else to do. I'd never been a bard. I didn't even know that my music wouldn't help people. I didn't know what was going to happen.
I was crying. My face hurt. I was laughing so hard.
It was terrible. I was
I
embarrassed.
laughed so hard at that game, I pulled a muscle in my upper back. For 3 days, I couldn't turn my head to the left. It was insane. And 90% of it was Janet. Just being Janet.
Yeah. Well,
No,
I
it's a
tried
good job. You did
to do the
good.
best I
Shush.
can.
Don't talk yourself down. You did good.
Yeah, you don't want to talk yourself down, Janet, because you stayed in character. You tried your best to help the party out with what tools you had, but I mean, there's also
Didn't
sometimes where your party willfully walks into the web of the spider. No, I got time. I'll be good.
Yeah. Well, the good news is they're stepping into a 5th edition campaign on Wednesday in my setting of the Final Age, which is a dark and dangerous place, like really. And I'm really, really looking forward to seeing if they learn how to work together as a team or just make new characters every week because, oh my goodness. J.J. Abrams is attached as of 2023 to make a remake for Krull. Hopefully that never happens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't want that to happen at all.
Mhm.
That's absolutely, this movie's a treasure, in my opinion.
Yep.
It
This is a cult classic now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. A lot of people have been saying it's a classic for years, and now that the movie is 40 years old,
Shut up.
it's just that this movie couldn't be redone properly. They could completely screw it up like they screwed up Star Trek 2009, but you talk to anybody who enjoyed Trek or even Next Generation, and they tell you Star Trek 2009 is not really Star Trek. It's a popcorn movie. It's got space in it. It does have ships in it. It has an amazing likeness in the nomenclature. It's not Star Trek.
I want to ask a question. You 3 guys have seen this years ago, right? All 3 of you?
Every year.
Yeah.
Okay. And you all loved this movie?
Yes.
Okay. Which is amazing to me because I loved it. And I'm a woman, okay, from 2 different perspectives, from 2 males and female. And there wasn't any TNA in this movie, and it was great. And it had romance. It had, I cried. I really started crying during the whole widow thing because I realized that was once his woman when he was talking about going there and talking to her because he knew her name. I got really emotional over the whole thing. I didn't know what was going to happen. And it was really scary, intense for me. I was holding my fist the whole time, hoping he's going to get across there. I didn't know what was going to happen. And then when she looked in the mirror and I saw how beautiful she was, I got very emotional. I thought it was really good.
That actress played Lady Jessica Atreides in the David Lynch Dune movie. Mm-hmm. And the guy who played Ynir played Thufir Hawat, the Mentat of House Atreides as well. So they basically worked together like right after this movie. They went and worked together on that movie. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah. And I recognized a lot of the guys that I didn't know their names. The ones each time they died. I mean, I loved all of it. Even though they died, they all redeemed themselves as criminals, you know what I mean, in my eyes. And the character arcs were strong for all of them. You couldn't help but root for them all, you know? You wanted them.
You heard them. We are now an army.
I got so pissed off, though, when that person came up behind the little old seer and killed him, and nobody was there to make sure he was all right. You know, I that pissed me off. I got pissed off on that part of it.
Well, they were too busy trying to save the guys in the
even the little boy, he could have stayed. You know, you see what I mean? I was just it just really pissed me off. I got pissed off on that part. I'm not saying that it may ruin the movie or anything. I'm just saying that I was let down by it.
That's the horror of Elder.
Yeah, that's who it was. She's so beautiful. I love that movie too.
Probably one of the hottest Italian actresses in mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she still looks really good today, even though she's cresting into her mid-70s. She looks really good. Oh God, if they had made a remake of Krull, now it would have a female bodybuilding main character, and they'd be saving on a feminine prince.
Well, it would depend. If I had lots of money and I could, pay all the bills and get it made without having to have somebody come in and say, "Oh, we have to do this or that or whatever to it," I would make it, and I wouldn't make it woke. I would make it follow the script and the story, but just have updated technology to make it where you wouldn't have to film all of it as much as they did on a soundstage. And the whole swamp was freaking awesome. They did a great job. Did you know that was all pieces of cork?
Yeah.
Ground up cork all in there. Oh, they did. It was awesome. I mean, the detail that the people did for all the sets and the props, it was just amazing. And the fact that this movie didn't do very well is I just don't understand how that's possible. I mean, it was anyone that liked fantasy or sci-fi fantasy and went and saw it. I don't see how they could say it wasn't any good. I mean,
I only know 4 movies in the 80s that made their money back that were considered sci-fi: E.T., Last Starfighter, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. Every other sci-fi film I remember from the 80s was a VHS success, but not really good at the theater.
that's just weird.
It's just how it is, I mean, two of my favorite movies of the 80s, Strange Invaders and Invaders from Mars. Those hit their stride in Betamax and VHS rentals.
I never saw Invaders from Mars.
I love Strange Invaders. I thought that movie was great.
I'm not.
Yeah, the animals though there was little things in the movie did remind me of other movies, but it's all this time has gone by, and I think most of the movies that have reminded me of were made after this, had come out. But I just thought the authentic animals in it and things like that, like when the little boy got the puppy and it kind of goes, makes that little whimper sound because he was pulling on his skin like a little boy would, and picked them up, and my heart just melted. Little stuff like that,
I still say it was a foolish wish.
I don't care. I just loved it. I just thought he was adorable.
He was a very nice wizard for doing that to the young boy.
He was a good boy, and it was a good boy too.
Really?
So, yeah.
I mean, in D&D terms, he's a druid.
It did remind me of Dungeons and Dragons, though. Like I could see us doing all those things, during our game. I could do all that stuff.
Oh, you have no idea what the camp. Oh, you guys are gonna. Oh, you have no idea. I got so stoked for the campaign. I plotted out the first story arc and all the adventure you're going on. Oh, it's gonna be so much fun. Unless, you guys, Coco and Doc Flamingo, butt heads again, and then, everybody just goes their own way. You'll die, and it'll be the end of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a lot of horses to wrangle. And to see them, it reminded me of when I was in high school, when we go to some of the things to set up for rodeos, because we were able to get out of school early if we were going to be in a rodeo or helping set it up. And all the guys running around just jumping on horses, because there'd be horses there for bronc riding. And everybody's running around trying to get on the back of some of these horses out, in the arena with no saddles or bridles or anything. So there was just so much in that just made me think of when I was young,
getting back no matter who you are.
Huh?
That movie literally just takes you back no matter who you are and what's going on in your life.
It was a fun movie. It made me fun. It made me had fun. I laughed a lot. I was excited. I was clenching my fists, hoping that and when the part was when he went to go get that thing out of his chest and his hand wrapped up, I jumped out of my skin. Little things like that you just don't get very often anymore in movies. And it really seemed like everyone loved this movie that was in it or that was working on this movie,
except for the director.
Yeah, the director took a vacation halfway through.
Yeah, I read that. I was like, it didn't really come across in the movie, from what I could tell, at least not with the actors. It seemed like the people involved,
which is a good thing,
with the costumes, the sets, the acting, the actors, the hairdressers, everybody that did it, did the little things, they all seemed like they wanted it to be a successful movie, that they worked really hard to make it as authentic as they could. And to me, you can see that when you're on a set and you're working, when you got people walking around rolling their eyes and going, oh, because they have to do something, you're pretty much going to tell that when that movie comes out, it's not going to do very well, because people didn't give a shit what they were doing. They just were there for a check. And it hurts. It does hurt movies, I think. So it seemed like these people wanted to be there for their jobs. And the young man that played the lead, he reminded me of a young Dennis Quaid a lot.
I could see that.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's who I kept popping in my head for some reason. Like when he was in that movie with the alien, Enemy Mine, it was a little bit like that to me. I don't know why. Just that kept popping in my head, like he could be his dad or whatever, even though I don't how this came out, 83 or 84, something like that.
83, same year as Return of the Jedi.
So I was really impressed. I was not expecting it to be this good. So I was happy with it. And anyone that I know that's into some of the things that I like, would love this movie too, I think. It's not a movie for everybody, though, because if you're not into sci-fi fantasy, like Legend or The Dark Crystal, things like that, you probably wouldn't enjoy this movie that much. But it reminded me of Dark Crystal a little bit, too. It's a couple little scenes that it popped in the back of my head. So I don't know. It's interesting to me.
I was really surprised about...
Depending on what country you're in, this was a PG or a G-rated movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is kind of funny, thinking that it was a G-rated movie with those weird worm things popping out after they get stabbed.
That fucking noise they make when they die is so cool.
And that noise came out of a movie called At Earth's Core with Caroline Munro. And I can't think of the two male leads. All that mattered to me was Caroline Munro. So, no, that's a 76 film with the guy that played General Tarkov, or Tarkin in
Tarkov? I mean, Peter
no,
Cushing.
Tarkin. Yeah, that guy.
Grand Moff Tarkin?
Grand Moff Tarkin.
Brendan Tartikoff? What?
Yeah, Escape from Tarkin. Anyway. Yeah, it's a 76 movie called At Earth's Core, where they rip that sound off for the Slayers whenever they perish. That's where that sound effect comes from. And that's not a bad movie either. We're going to put that on the list because it's got Caroline Munro. And no, I'm not putting every movie she's been in on the list, but there will be a sizable amount. She makes a good movie.
No complaints here.
None.
I thought that was pretty good touch to the movie, too. To me, now that you brought that up about their squealing and things, it was like the creature that was trying to, use his giant spaceship that he was using as a castle and it would land around here and there, that he was basically using other creatures and putting them in like robotic bodies or whatever, so he could control them, get them to do what he wanted to do. And they could have came from another planet or from the planet they were on. But it was interesting the way that that came across to me, because nothing was explained really in the movie about what I thought. One thing I did have a problem with was they're all talking about the kingdom or whatever, going there, and trying to find out how to get there and stuff like that. And they knew for generations, basically. But the way that they made it was like they had to do this right now because they just started trying to invade the earth or something. So there was little things there I wish they could have answered for me, because I was having a hard time trying to connect all that.
Would you like me to send you the script to Dragons of Krull?
I would love to read it. And it's a script from this movie?
Yep. And it's got none of the sci-fi stuff in it.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just there was little things like that, but they were all minute. And even though you said the director took 3 weeks off go on a vacation or whatever in the middle of me filming this. The editor did a really good job. From normally I really pick on the editing, but I thought the editing did pretty good considering, like with the fire coming from his hand. They did a really good job at making it really seem when they edited the scene from there to there, together, it almost seamless. And I was trying to put myself in the 1980s, watching it, sitting and watching this at a movie theater. I was trying to put myself in. It was really, really hard because I felt like, like I was 10 or something. It was really stupid, but I was giggling. And I did turn my mic off because I knew I made a couple noises and I thought, well, I better shut my mic off because I know Bear doesn't like people talking.
No, I don't mind if you laugh. It's when people start having conversations in the middle of a movie. I'm like, for fuck's sake.
Because I know,
watching a movie or are we talking?
I scream and stuff like that. I'm very verbal.
Fine, that's fun.
So,
that's
yeah, but it was good. I felt like a kid. It was fun. I'm going to watch this again. I want to watch this on a real TV, a big screen
I would recommend
instead
it.
of this little bitty computer.
Yeah, I would say this
Very
movie
good.
shines best with a large screen. The larger the better.
This it was breathtakingly beautiful. The scenes, like when they went to the edge of the cliff with the horses, I was like, I didn't know what was going to happen. And then to see him flying, it was like, oh, it's like Santa Claus's sleigh. It was beautiful. I don't know. I can't explain it. It's so stupid. I know, but I can't help it. That's the vision I had. And that to me was very childlike for me, a child quality that brought out in me from my vision of it. And I just thought it was beautiful. And then them looking down, it reminded me, the little boy looking down and them Liam Neeson looking down and their hair blowing. It reminded me of Never Ending Story. He's riding the luck dragon. So it reminded me of a lot of things. But they were all happy things. It was good. I was really impressed.
I think this movie is fantastic for the fact they've made between $1 for every $2 they spent, because they spent roughly $30 million and only pulled like 16.7 or 16.9 million out of the box office. Kind of falls flat, and I'm happy they didn't make a sequel to it, because there's another movie that's a lot like this in my opinion. A lot of people disagree with me, but Beastmaster 1 was a great movie, lots of fun to watch. Then they made sequels, and I just slam my head into hard surfaces when I try to watch them, and it comes out better for me if I just turn off the VCR, because fucking Beastmaster 2 and 3 your ass. They really are.
The Eye of Braxis.
I know, right? I'd rather smash my dick with a hammer than watch part 2 again. Oh yeah, we're gonna drive around LA. God damn it. Okay.
That's a conflicting thing for me, watching a Beastmaster sequel or smashing my dick with a hammer. I mean, it's a hard choice, Bruce. Oh wait, no, I'll just fucking sit through the movie. I'm good.
That was horrible.
I get my time back if I smash my dick with a hammer.
No, you'd go to the hospital, and while you're in the waiting room, guess what? TV's playing Beastmaster, Eye of Braxis.
No.
No.
That's terrible.
With the hammer. No.
That's awful. But yeah, that I wouldn't. You wouldn't be able to use it again.
Yeah.
So this movie kind of gave off D&D vibes. You got the plot of going to fight the big evil bad guy, and they go through the various trials and tribulations and get the party together and get the magic weapon, blah blah blah. And I was thinking, like, okay, and then you get to the castle, and the interior of the castle, good God, how would you map that out?
Given that the walls move, you wouldn't.
It reminded me of some other movie, though, when she was touring it, basically running, because he told her she could go anywhere she wanted. It was almost like it was a giant statue of himself. The hand with the claws, and it kind of moved a little bit, and then the giant eyeball, different limbs and parts of him, the creature. And it was kind of
did the techno organic. Let's kind of throw that into this fantasy.
even though I know it wasn't,
And then you
because
got the
we
eyeball.
saw what the ship looked like from a distance. And I looked that up. That giant, beautiful ship or whatever mountain that he lived in, with the dome on it, the way that they did it was only like a 12-foot tall model that they set out there and filmed. It was wonderful. I love models. If I could had a place where I could get a huge train set and have cars and lights and all that. Oh my God, I'd play with it every day. I would work on that, build it and add new stuff. I'm one of those people. I just love stuff like that. I remember my dad taking me to a couple places where I could do that. And I get to drive the trains and all that stuff. And that's what it reminded me of. So I can't help it. My sisters were never into any of that stuff, but I always thought that was just super neat. And when we watch a couple of those other
Janet is a
movies,
small girl with her mashed potatoes making devil's.
Devil's Mountain.
This means
oh, I can't help it. You guys don't like miniature trains or those little towns that they make with the mountains and the
No,
hills?
Janet, not at all.
No,
Oh, I love
Bruce
all
hates
that.
miniature things. Bruce,
Fucking-
like, there's one thing that Bruce can't stand: miniature things.
Fucking hate miniatures.
Well, I mean, to see him on film and to see him do such a good job, even her little the castle she was in, which was beautiful, from a distance, it looked authentic. It looked real to me. I mean, they did, even though that it was how old? 40 years old, it was still looked great. I thought it was really well done. You could tell the people that painted the backgrounds for the sets, the people that painted the miniatures and all the different things. Even the monster creature, the detail when they zoomed in, even though it was blurred out a little bit, almost like he didn't want you to be able to really visualize what he looked like because he was so hideous, because our minds probably wouldn't comprehend it or something like that. It was still, the detail of it was just, ugh, gross. He was just this hideous monster, and it was gross. And the thought of her having to marry him was pretty scary. The thought of it. So I don't know. I know I'm jumping around, but I can't help it.
I mean, you don't want to have this movie have to go through like an NC-17 rating in like the UK, because we have a 3-minute sequence after the good guy gets ripped apart and torn to shreds. That 9 months later, there's this little bitty Cthulhuid monster ripping itself out of her stomach cavity.
Oh
and
yeah,
they filmed it.
you had that alien.
That would be
Brundlefly.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Six Nations.
Brundlefly.
Oh yeah, that was gross too.
Oh, that's what it would
Yeah.
be. It would probably be a maggot.
Seth Brindle.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite movies of all time.
We haven't seen it yet. We haven't done it.
All right. Yeah, I guess chat, if you have seen Krull before, which if you haven't, it's on Tubi for free. Use Brave. You have minimal breaks. If you don't want to get an ad blocker, Brave takes care of that for you. And then watch it for free. It's on there right now. There's a bunch of really good movies and TV shows that are on there right now. Do not do season 5 of Babylon 5, but you could be happy with seasons 1 through 4. If you've seen Krull, go ahead and throw your rating for it in the chat. We'll have Janet read that. Next week, got a couple different possible movies, and the three of you can vote on these. I was thinking either Manhunter with Brian Cox or The 13th Warrior.
You know which one I want to watch? I love The 13th Warrior. And I've seen that one.
Have you seen Manhunter?
Mm-mm.
Then maybe seeing a new film as opposed to rewatching one you've already seen.
There's 4 of us in here, so I only have 1 vote.
I have no vote. I don't care. I'll watch either.
I want to see Manhunter because I've not seen it yet.
I haven't seen it.
I like stepping into new things. I mean, I don't mind a comfortable pair of shoes, but I really like the idea of watching new movies and movies that are new to me.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really important.
It's basically Red Dragon 20 years before Red Dragon came out.
It's supposed to be really good.
And it's great.
Hey, Boosh. Boosh is also free on YouTube with ads. not a bad deal. And if you have the Brave browser, that kicks those off. He says he's seen it 5 or 6 times. Yeah. Janet, there's one
Oh, where is it? Which one?
right there.
Oh, okay. You already got it up there. Okay. He said he's scoring it a 9.8. That's pretty good. Thank you, Casey. That's a high score. It's a little higher than I'm going to give mine, but if it's your multiple time of seeing it, I can see why you would do that. That's a good score.
Yeah, I want to see Manhunter for the fact that it's got Brian in it, and he's proven himself over and over and over again. My favorite role he ever did was probably in the movie Troy. But if he does better than the movie Troy with Manhunter, then I'll be more than happy.
Every time I hear that, it reminds me of Lego Batman, because there's a Manhunter in that, isn't there?
Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, Martian Manhunter or something. Isn't he a character on that game?
Never played the game,
Yeah,
but
I think it's Martian Manhunter,
DC Universe.
and he's red, and he's one of the good guys. So
Martian Manhunter is green, not red. He wears a red
red
And-
outfit.
blue with, I think, the blue trunks with the crisscross. I think he has a red cape. I can't remember.
Yeah,
And he has more. He has so many superpowers. Writers forget what powers he has. That's how many powers they've given him over the years. He's the most powerful character in the DC universe. It isn't a god, really. But I always thought the best thing was to create the dollar store replacement for him, the Venusian Van Hunter. The guy just hunts vans.
yeah,
Got
yeah.
a real thing against vans.
Oh, Bush has a rating, a 7 out of 10. I love the movie, but there are some glaring issues. So go ahead and tell us what your glaring issues are. I'd like to hear them.
your Barmy says boosh.
I mean, there was a few gaps in the story for me where I didn't understand, why certain things were happening. But I loved some of the characters. I loved the couple from the spider couple. Basically, their romance was very romantic. The whole story was very sad and heartbreaking when he finds out. But the fact that he forgave her, I started crying. I can't help it. I get like that. I'm very emotional sometimes. But the whole thing when he turned into a puppy, just little things like that, very emotional stuff for me. I just love that. I guess that's because I'm a girl. I can't think of any other reason why.
You're a what?
I'm a girl, so
What?
that's why it was emotional to
What
me.
craziness is this?
I know, right?
A girl?
I mean, I try not to get like that, but sometimes just stuff happens. It unfolds that way, and I just get really, really into it. That part
It's all
of it.
good.
I thought it was enjoyable. At the minimum, this movie is a automatic rewatch, just for the fact that they did a very good job with the script. The special effects still hold up so many years later. The fact that it's pretty quotable, and Ergo probably is my favorite character in this movie. Kind of wish it wasn't like that, but I also enjoy the D&D movie because of the Wayans brother that's in that.
Mhm.
I know that I have a very unpopular opinion about that film. Nobody else loves that movie.
Dude, I fully enjoy all 4 D&D movies.
Really?
I love it. The one with the fat dragon, the one you're talking about, Bruce.
That's the latest. No, that's the latest one. He's talking about the first one from 2000.
Oh, that one, the
where
newest one.
Jeremy Irons is chewing the scenery.
I haven't
because he
seen
had
the other ones, so we'll have to put them on the list because I absolutely loved this last one. I went and saw. I've seen it a couple of times.
The other 3 are very different and much lower
So,
budget.
I
And
think
the
I
first
could.
one has Jeremy Irons literally chewing the scenery because he had to make a house payment or something. So he just showed up. He doesn't let him put a wig on him, so he just looks like a wizard with like a modern executive accountant haircut, and he just really acts in it a lot. It's crazy. It's
Well,
great.
I think I
It
could
is
get into it.
so good. Jeremy Irons for that movie is the standard evil wizard I will play in my games or in other people's games if I'm playing an actual wizard. I'll pull out my Jeremy Irons, and you'll hear me scream, "Let it rain from the sky! Let it rain blood from the sky!" It'll be great. One of my favorite movies. Boosh says, Alyssa in the web, the pacing's very wonky. We don't really have motivation for the beast. I disagree with that. The weird love thing with the changeling in the village.
What's the issue with the changeling in the village then? There's nothing there. It was to prove something. He wanted to basically break Lissa's love for Colin by showing her cheating, and the instructions were clearly given: if you cannot seduce him, kill him. And she can't, because she's known him for an hour and seen the quality of man that Colin is. I don't get what that's an issue. And the beast just wants to conquer shit.
Yeah, he wants to conquer shit, wants to make more of himself, and he's got this perfect ginger in front of him. He's like, aha, I'll have the perfect
Remember the movie The Legend, right? And the demon, the son of the devil or whatever that was on Earth, and he was trying to woo the young maiden, even though, and he was very upset that she wouldn't do what he wanted, and he would lose his temper with her and stuff, but he kept trying to calm down and try to get her to not have to force her to be his, that type of thing. Basically, that's conquering something, and they're both conquerors, and he wanted to conquer her will and get her to bend to his whim, and she was stronger than he thought she would be, because love, just like she said, love is more powerful than hate.
How like you my gifts.
Yeah, see, it was I love that movie too. We did that one. I just absolutely love Legend. It's a good movie, but I like that. I like good versus evil, and the fact that romance and love is entwined in that for goodness, and I just think that's great, because lust can be evil and it can also be good. You know what I mean? If you're lusting for the right person, I guess the way that it's put into the movie, so it can be good or bad. And I like that they used it in this movie for goodness. And even though they weren't nasty, they didn't have to put a bunch of nasty stuff in it to make it good. And I like that. I just wish that we could see more movies where emotional stuff can move people without having to have all the blood and guts all sprayed out, heads chopped off, blood gushing out, or somebody having sex with 15 women, and they're all naked and they're all running around, boobies flapping around. I mean, we don't need all that to get the sense of romance.
Whoa. Speak for yourself.
Well,
we
okay,
don't need to see boobies flapping. Maybe you don't need to see.
No, I don't.
I'm a big fan of boobies.
But the thing is, what I'm saying is, you can get the emotional,
of course, I'm just making fun, Jane.
Feeling for the movie and the characters without having to have all the extra stuff just to try to, get your goat or whatever. You know what I mean?
I'm just teasing. My favorite movies are Star Trek. There's no boobies.
Mm-hmm. Well, if the outfit's painted on, you don't really need to see the skin color. You just need to see the shapes. Right? It's either sausage or tacos for dinner.
So I just have this to add. By the way, Bush has said that they move from place to pace very quickly, then things slow down, speed up, and slow down again. The pacing might be a little bit wonky. This movie shows a lot of conflict of man versus nature. There's a lot of man versus the environment in this film, and you don't really see a lot of that nowadays, because they just throw like a 30-second portion of like, I'm in a storm and I'm ducking behind the rocks while lightning strikes around me, and you see only 30 seconds of that. This movie has like about 15 minutes of them fighting the environment, which I was so happy to watch that, because you don't get that in a lot of films or stories nowadays. They've modern story writers have forgotten about the environment being a nemesis. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing about this.
Because we don't do enough X crawls.
Yeah.
I need to answer Thruxus's
Get at the table game and do some hex crawls.
Where Thruxus says, which way do you turn your head when you eat tacos? Yeah, dude, I eat tacos like I had a pudding and didn't get a spoon.
I'll just say, I don't turn my head. I just turn the taco.
Janet did not get that.
I didn't understand the question at first, so I was trying to think of how I'd answer it. But I don't use a spoon.
Coco. Go ahead, Janet.
Oh, okay. I'd give it an 8.5. While I love this movie, just the Star Wars and popular influence and the Beast was of a letdown with his crappy electric fireball. Yeah, the special effects weren't very good, but it was back in the 80s. So, I mean, I'd have to go and watch some more 80s movies to really see how bad the special effects were for back then. See, I'd have to find something to compare it to. But to me, the overall story held up really well considering how old it was, I think. So,
Reading the trivia,
yeah.
the Beast was a fully encapsulated animatronic device, which unfortunately they blurred the shit out of it, but that's pretty damn impressive.
Yeah.
No wires and doodads hanging off of it.
Mm-hmm.
I like the way they filmed the
I wonder if
Beast.
that's still around.
It
Or did it
was
disintegrate?
done with a lot of the techniques where in the 1980s you'd have a rubber suit or you have a
puppet.
model or something, and it would be filmed in darkness just so you wouldn't be able to see all the details and see all the revealing magician tricks on it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the way they filmed the Beast was really ingenious. I didn't know it was an animatronic before today. I thought that was kind of weird. I'm like, I've seen this movie probably about 10 or 12 times, and I didn't ever think about how they filmed the Beast. I thought it was kind of different. There is something that I need to present because Janet just doesn't know, and now she does.
I didn't get it.
It's just Jeremy Irons eating the scenery in the Dungeons and Dragons movie.
It's a wonderful, wonderful movie. If you want to see Jeremy Irons, it's the best movie you'll ever
I like
see.
Jeremy Irons.
It's the
But
best
his
movie.
eyes
you'll
looked like two dice that were on fire. Is that what they were supposed to look like?
That was a crappy After Effect somebody added, but
Oh, okay. So I was trying to understand what that was.
The film itself has some amazing scenery chewing in it that has yet to be replicated in modern cinema.
I'm a Simona.
And I thought that scene that you said that was so adorable. I just was like, oh, how cute. When he was sitting with a little boy, what was his name? The wizard, young wizard guy. Yeah, when he's sitting there and he said, do you have any, he was asking for, all boys have candy, and he got that little cinnamon bar out and he tore it and it wasn't completely in half and he grabbed that's the big one. I just thought that was just so cute. I just loved him. This movie, I just loved him. I don't know if I'd liked it as much if he wasn't in this movie. Played that
So when
part.
Jeremy Irons was asked why he did the D&D movie, he replied, "Are you kidding? I just bought a castle and I had to pay for it somehow."
So yeah, I need the money.
There's a documentary for the making of Krull on the DVD, which it used to be a separate purchase. They included it on there after the 2000s. I recommend everybody use social or use physical media for anything you do.
Mm-hmm.
That way, if you can ever have somebody say, you know what, this movie offends us, so we're gonna replace 30 seconds of stuff where Roy Schneider drops an N-bomb, like in The French Connection. They've done that now. If you don't have a physical copy of The French Connection from before 2015, it may be changed. Some of the dialogue that was so impactful and appreciated back in the 70s now is besmirched in the 2020s because we let idiots run everything. But get yourself a DVD of Krull. It's not that expensive. There's plenty of copies out there on eBay, on Amazon. It's one of those films that you should actually have because it's so well done. You can have it on in the background. The music will help you through your day while you're doing stuff. I know that sounds weird. A lot of people would use music to aid them while they're at work in the background, etc., etc. Krull's score is fantastic. It's by James Horner, the late James Horner, which will never get another score out of him again. One of the best musicians and composers ever to come out, and just going to Hollywood, swinging for the fences and doing a badass job. Didn't he do Star Trek 2 and 3?
Yes, and I did 2, not 3.
For some
Well, I
reason,
wanted to
thinking
add real quick after we saw the Last Unicorn, I downloaded a whole bunch of songs from America because I just loved it, and I've been listening to them while you're doing stuff around the house. So you just never know what music comes from until you get to sit down and actually focus, like we did with this movie, and getting to listen to the music and how. What mood it puts you in. So now I guess when I download some of these songs on my playlist, every time I listen to them, when I think about a scene in a movie or whatever, I love music. I use it for like that type of therapy to help me sleep or relax or get me riled up so that I can go work out and do a good, good workout or whatever. So it's nice. I just loved it. And I did love the Last Unicorn soundtrack. It was great. And this one was
King Eric, when Michael Caine was asked if he had seen Jaws 3 or Jaws 4, whichever one it is, Jaws 4, he said, "No, I have not seen the movie, but I've seen the house it bought. It's very nice." So,
well, I'm glad they had that.
I love that quote so much. If you didn't do it, I would have done it. For $1, our friend and channel friend, Crafting Gamer, he says, "Well, wait, Janet hasn't seen the Dungeons and Dragons with Jeremy Irons. This must be remedied." He threw money at the channel. So,
good. We'll put it on the list.
It is.
I'm sure I'd like it. I mean, all the Dungeons and Dragons games aren't the same, basically, right? So, why wouldn't I think I could get into all the movies? I mean, I loved Gamers Darkness Rising. I thought it was great, and it was a Dungeons and Dragons movie. So.
And the Crafting Gamer, if you'd like to be on with us on the 4th of April when we watch the Dungeons and Dragons movie from early 2000s with Jeremy Irons, the greatest wizard that ever lived.
4th of when?
April 4th.
That was like 3 weeks ago.
May 4th.
May 4th.
I saw the
That's
4th
okay.
coming up, and I'm like, oh, yeah. May 4th, if you want to be on here with us May 4th, Crafting, be more than happy to have you. And have you part of the panel and discussing this movie, which was fairly panned at the time, but the more that time's gone on, the more I really appreciate this movie. I still think it's the best D&D franchise movie out there. I know that sounds bad. What are you drinking, Bear?
Bruce almost let the cat out of the bag.
Pepsi Zero.
All those
green
super
soda
chats
by
funding
Doritos.
his time machine.
The Time Machine is a great movie. Again, a Jeremy Irons classic. Not quite the best Jeremy Irons movie. That's still Dungeons and Dragons. But I liked him in The Time Machine. I also liked him in the Beekeeper. I thought the Beekeeper was really good for people that weren't, if you don't have a problem with Jason Statham making a blatant movie that plays to his general audience, that movie's fantastic. If you expect Othello from Jason Statham, you're sadly mistaken.
I think Othello with Jason Statham would be really good for the martial arts sequences.
I've met him in person, and I like his acting. I think he's a very nice person. He did card tricks for us and stuff. He was just a nice guy, and I'm not going to say anything bad about him. I think he's a good person and a good actor.
There are two soundtracks for Legend. One of them is an orchestral score that goes well with American audiences, and then there is an additional score. I believe it's by Tangerine Dream.
Yes, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say that orchestral score is vastly superior to the Tangerine Dream one.
Yeah, if you ever require sleep, Tangerine Dream will help you.
Well, how do you know which one it is?
Oh my God, have you heard Tangerine Dream, Janet?
I don't know.
You will never confuse Tangerine Dream with anything.
Never.
Ever.
Never.
They are their own sound. It's all electronic, which is really weird in a fantasy film.
Yeah.
It's like the movie we watched it. Was it which one did we watch?
We watched The Sorcerer that had Tangerine Dream as the main score.
So just to correct you, Bruce.
Go ahead.
First of all, it's Jerry Goldsmith who does the orchestral one for Legend. Jerry fucking Goldsmith. I mean, really? And that was for the European release. Tangerine Dream is the American release.
And that was for Legend?
That's for
Okay,
Legend.
because when we watched Legend, I don't remember it being Tangerine Dream. I thought it was that other band.
It was,
that
it was
the
orchestral.
unicorns,
It
when
was
the unicorns come running out in the water and we're frolicking.
that's a Jerry Goldsmith soundtrack.
Okay,
we
that
watched.
was the one we watched. So I haven't heard the other one, apparently, because that's the only one I remember. But the soundtrack from Flash Gordon was really good too. So I love that movie. I loved doing that one too. That was a good one.
That's my second favorite Queen soundtrack. My favorite is Highlander, where they were literally asked to do one song for it, read the script, and went, "Can we do all the songs for it?"
Yeah, I love Queen. I
kind of
love
magic
that
album.
movie. I want to do that movie too, but Bruce said it was too new.
What? He said what?
The new movie that just came out about Queen.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah. He said it was too new. He wanted to wait a little while before we did it. So I was like, okay, well.
I like giving a buffer of time to films. The newest movie I think we've done is The Raid Part 2 from 2014.
No, I think it was Notorious. Remember? I
we
really
did watch
wanted to do it.
Notorious,
I think
but
Notorious was the newest one.
that was the newest film we've watched. But that also, there was a different reason why I picked that, and the fact that like we were wanting to discuss evil in our world today, and that movie does a fantastic job of illustrating that.
Yeah.
Just I know a lot of people think that like you're a kook. Well, that's fine. Call me a kook. I don't care. But that movie is a fantastic. If nothing else, there's a lot of positives to that movie, and if you just watch it as a movie, it's still really good.
You said I'm a kook.
That's fine.
A kook, and I won't stand for
it. Yeah, we remedied this. She had not seen the first Starship Troopers movie, so we had to fix that.
Yeah, I've seen it now.
Michael Ironside in one of his great roles, almost as good as Scanners.
Mm-hmm.
Next week we will watch.
Wait. Michael Ironside's greatest role is Overdog.
Oh, I forgot about Overdog. Damn it, that.
I can only say what movies I've seen him in, and out of my favorite ones.
Space Hunter, Adventures in the Forbidden Zone.
I haven't seen
Michael Ironside. Well, then put it on the list because it's a great film.
I haven't seen it yet, but I liked him. I loved him in Scanners, and I've seen him in a couple other things. I think mostly television or something. But I really like him. I think he's a really good actor.
I actually like him in Fact too.
I want The Package on the list too, with Gene Hackman.
Package, okay.
That's a serious one, but it's really good.
I think Michael Ironside was the only reason why I watched Fact 2. I was watching it, and I was like, but I like Michael Ironside, so I slothed through it and then immediately watched Heavy Metal
again.
To clean the out of my mouth.
Yeah, we haven't done Total Recall. Lady Hawk. I want to do that one too. That's another one.
A great movie killed by a bad soundtrack. What movie were you talking about? Six Nations?
Fact 2 and Heavy Metal.
2.
Oh, Fact 2 is shit.
Yeah, but Fact 2, I have to say I like Fact 2 for the fact that you've got Billy Idol and Michael Ironside doing the two male leads, and they do a really good job, I think.
Billy Idol's in a movie?
He's a voice.
Oh. A cartoon?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
But Julie Strain does Julie Strain. There's nothing else that she knows how to do.
Well, not anymore.
No, yeah, she's passed now. But she was on the way out probably, 2015 was when the illness hit her really hard and she stopped.
Yeah.
That was also when Eastman and her divorced. Yeah, Janet, I'll watch Lady Hawk, but I'm not going to listen to it. I fucking hate that movie.
That soundtrack is so fucking off-putting.
Like, whoever the fuck thought Alan Parsons Project should be fucking... No, that shouldn't be.
Well, I don't care who it is. I mean, don't I get to pick any movies?
Well, wasn't like the last
Sure you
movie
do.
you picked some weird ass shit about, like, what was the last movie she picked? A guy and a robot, or what the fuck was that thing you were talking about?
You mean Lars and the Real Girl?
There it is.
That was one of the very first movies we'd ever did.
Well, apparently that banned you from picking movies, clearly, because
I
Well,
didn't,
that's not fair.
didn't ban her from making movie picks. It's just I always go to that and Bad Girls.
Yeah,
The
and Bad
Western?
Girls is one of your most watched movies.
the Western, I love that movie.
Yeah, he hated it. See, I had to
Well-
watch that stupid train movie, Meat Train, and some of these other ones that were okay. But if I can watch a bad one, you can watch one that you think is bad that I thought was good. I thought Maverick.
I just said that like I'll watch Lady Hawk. I won't listen to it.
Yeah,
I hate that
Yeah.
Alan Parsons project
Well,
because
how are you going to do that then? How are you going to turn it on silent and just sit and watch it?
Captions work for Bruce.
Okay, that's terrible. Then don't worry about it.
No.
I'm not going to have you watch a movie there's no sound on it.
There'll be sound. You guys will be listening to it. Bruce will figure out a way. I'll make an M3 earplug work.
Bruce will be doing the Ludovico technique.
I'll just put bullets in my ears, like the gunslinger did when he's walking up the road, walking up the beam. I absolutely can't stand Alan Parsons Project. I want to. I want to.
Yeah,
like
I wasn't. When I pick a movie, I'm not picking it because it has this person or that person. Most of the time, I don't even remember who the or know who the director is. I pick it.
I actually do
thought
pick
it was
movies
good.
based on the actors. I pick a lot of my movies.
Well, actors, not the music playing in the background. That's what you said. You don't want to see it because of singing in the background, and I think that's dumb.
You can think that's dumb, but I can't stand Alan Parsons Project. That's just one of those bands that I think of like there was a lot of cocaine use back in the 80s.
Okay, what's this movie we're going to watch next week?
It's called Manhunter with.
Okay, I'm going to look up and see who plays the music in that one. See if I like them or not.
Okay, that's fine. I fucking hate the Alan Parsons Project. Like, there's some music from the 80s that it doesn't. The only thing I can say is like, what happened first, the shitty music or the bad drugs? Because like, there's a cycle there, and I don't know what the fuck happened. But the Alan Parsons Project should have never left a garage in Los Angeles or wherever the hell they're
what
from.
do they sing? Tell me the song they sing so I can try to remember who they are. Okay, well, I don't remember the music. That's what I'm saying. I don't really remember. I'd have to listen to it before I can.
I'm going to put that movie on the list just so you can enjoy it with me.
That kind of explains.
I appreciate it.
The music. If you can't remember the music, and it doesn't give you good feels or horrible chills.
I mean, the movie we just watched, I don't remember who sang all the songs or who played all the music. I can't even tell you his name, but I liked it. That movie with the cartoon that I thought was a beautiful scenery and everything was great and the music was wonderful. But yeah, and I had no story. I can't even tell you who sang that one. I mean, I just don't remember all that stuff. I have to write it down and see it every week to remember it. But that doesn't mean it wasn't any good.
I would like to ask you guys a question. Have you seen the original Nosferatu?
Yeah.
No.
The silent film?
Is that the one with the hideous guy that's bald and walks around like that?
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen the original.
Soundtrack was fairly decent. I liked it. The movie was great. It's over 100 years old now. Typo Negative did a version of soundtrack for it, or somebody added Typo Negative to it, and it didn't ruin the movie. It was pretty decent.
But Typo Negative makes music, and Alan Parsons beats on fucking appliances and records shit.
I'm not disputing that.
I have to listen to some Alan Parsons, whatever they're called. Alan Parsons Project, right? Is that what you said?
Yes.
I'll have to write that down. So I'll have to remember because I have to go listen to something that they have so that I can understand who they are. Because right now,
I'm looking forward to this. What Thruxus says here I'm looking forward to, because you want to have Bruce be happy watching Lady Hawk. I would love to watch Lady Hawk to like the Excalibur soundtrack or anything else that is at least listenable. But fucking there's certain things of the 80s that I can forget easy, and like some of the outfits, some of the clothing, the fucking padded shoulders that
Let's get
women had.
physical. Physical. I mean, wasn't
Yeah,
that Olivia Newton-John?
I
See,
don't
I
even,
remember that song, and I remember who she sang it, but that's only because I heard it like 5,000 times.
yeah, thank you MTV for ruining that song.
I'm just saying, I'm doing the best I can to try to remember these people, but I just don't remember all the little stuff.
I've tried watching Lady Hawk multiple times when I was a younger man.
Did you like Matthew Broderick in War Games?
That's one of my
Another
favorite.
one that I wanted on the list.
It's on the list.
Okay, and I don't remember who sang the music in that movie, and it was still a good movie.
That's a John Badham film. It's not a pop music movie. It's got some actual orchestral notes to it. It's a very well done film. I don't remember any pop music in War Games. The Philadelphia Experiment, however, with Nancy Allen and I can't think of the guy's name. He's a French.
Eddie and the Cruisers. That's a movie we could put on the list, and I like
Michael Pear. Thank you.
Yeah,
Michael Pear.
The band that played the music for that, they had a hit song, Crafferty or something.
Wasn't that the E Street Band?
No, it was something Crafferty. I can't remember what his name is. See, I told you I can't remember everybody's names. I'm terrible with names. I remember faces. I just don't remember everyone's name. That's what sucks. And ever since I was a kid, I just never remembered people's names. But I remember their face. I've seen that person before, but I couldn't remember what their name was.
But what I was saying was that the Philadelphia Experiment, there's a couple of instances where you literally have the pop music from the time being fed into the movie where it dates the movie. Like, I remember the scene where they are doing a helicopter shot following the truck up the mountain, and a song is playing that had just come out 10 days previously. And I remember that very, very well. But that movie doesn't really survive the test of time, just for the fact that there's some things that are done or said in the Philadelphia Experiment. It's not really a movie that aged well. I wanted it to, because I like Nancy Allen's performance. I like Michael Pear. I just want to see a better script, and I didn't really get that. And more so, if you listen to the Kook channels or Cryptid channels, there's a guy named Al Bielek that came out after 1984, and he said something happened to him, and he ripped off the script of the movie, The Philadelphia Experiment, and said, "Oh yeah, that was my life." And it's kind of weird.
It was John Crafferty in the Beaver Brown Band.
John Crafferty. Okay. Yeah,
That's sang in Eddie and the Cruisers, and it was Tom Berenger that was in that with Michael Pear. And that's a good movie.
Thruxus, I have a job, and it takes me away from this PC for quite a bit of the week. So when I come over here, it's time for Bruce to decompress and not work. If I learned how to edit, I'd be working again. But I'll wait for somebody else to re-edit Eddie and the Cruisers. Somebody with actual musical taste. It wouldn't be that hard. Okay.
But something happened during the
movie.
day. And did you like Lady Hawk, Six Nations?
It was a good movie. Yeah, the soundtrack was a little off-putting. It wasn't horrible. Like my ears didn't bleed, but it was the modernness in a medieval-ish film. The fantasy stuff.
Still? Great. Are we still talking about fucking the soundtrack for Lady Hawk? Really?
What?
Really?
I didn't like the soundtrack.
I went out and put my supper in the oven and came back, and we're still talking about Lady Hawk.
Well, it went around in a circle. We talked about other stuff, Eddie and the Cruisers.
Okay.
Well, they ran it forever and a day, and I just wanted to give my 2 cents on it.
Go ahead.
Soundtrack was okay. It wasn't horrible. I've heard worse.
It was way off.
Mhm.
I heard Michael Pere being said. You guys done
There's
Streets
stuff
of Fire
that
yet?
just drills into your brain and it doesn't go away.
Streets of
And
Fire, not yet.
that
Oh, dude, Streets of Fire is amazing. I love that movie.
Is it a 50s era?
Well, it's diesel punk, so it sort of has that slight late 40s, early 50s feel to it, but it's not. It's literally a rock and roll fairy tale, and the what is the goddamn tagline for it?
Another Michael Perry film directed by Walter Hill. Holy
Yeah, it's a
shit.
Walter Hill film, but it has an opening credit that's like right at the start of the film, and it says another time, another place, or something like that. It's really cool.
All
It's a
right,
good movie.
this is going on the list. It's going on the
Rick
list.
Moranis is in it, so there you go.
You got no Rick Moranis is great, and so is Diane Lane. The top three billings on this, I got to see it.
Well, I was going to tell Six Nations. I went and saw the new Nosferatu movie by myself. I loved it. It was very, very well done.
scary, ain't it?
It was good.
Like it was an homage to the original. It was kind of had his own flair to it, and it did well. I liked
Yeah,
it.
he
It
was
was creepy.
He gave me the creeps. Oh, I would
There were some
probably
scenes
have a stroke or something if I saw someone like that in the alley.
but it was a good horror flick.
It
Like
was.
normally, sequels or remakes don't jive well.
Mhm.
Either see the original or read the book, and
And I'd never
like
seen
one
that
or the other, but
actress before in
turned
anything,
out well.
and she was phenomenal in this movie. Very believable. And the costumes and everything was just gorgeous.
Have a
Bye,
good dinner
Bruce.
there, Bush. Have a good dinner, sir.
The
It sounds like
South.
it's pouring down rain. I'm under a tornado watch again.
We've added 4 new movies to our list just in today's discussion, so I want you guys to understand you've been doing the Lord's work. And thank you, the Crafting Gamer, once again. I guess this is kind of where we start wrapping things up. Yeah, we did have a cyclic conversation there. Appreciate chat being here today. I
What are
don't.
you guys' ratings?
Yeah, this is where we give the ratings, and I guess I would ask Bear first because he has kind of the most streamlined rating. He gives it.
Yeah. It's a yeah. Remember, it's nah, meh, yeah. It's a strong yeah for me. See, my reviews are real fast. I don't need to tell you anything more. Watch the goddamn movie.
Oh,
Okay.
go ahead, Six Nations. I'll let him go.
Ooh, on the spot. What do I pick?
Mhm.
What do you want?
86. Like, what is it? IMDb rates it at a 6 something.
Oh, you
Like,
almost fell.
okay,
Fat fuck.
their review is better than average, and it's like, I grew up on this shit, and it holds up, and the soundtrack kicks ass, and there's a hell of a lot of actors that are in there
Mhm.
that I like. David Batley played an awesome wizard. He also played the cool school teacher in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And
I
his
thought he was
character
the
as the school teacher
yeah.
basically evolved into a more compassionate person in Krull.
Yeah.
And it was great. So, yeah, 86 and a half out of 100. And who knows, maybe a week from now when I watch it again, I don't know. But this is definitely something that you should watch with your family and your friends, unless you got little kids that get creeped out with like space aliens and worms, because that scared the shit out of me when I was. But all in all, it was awesome.
When you're a young kid
Yeah.
and you see this movie, the shadows add to the fear factor because you can't really see it clearly, right?
Yeah. And then like the bad guys, the changelings, they had black eyes. Like, that's damn creepy. And then on the internet, you read about the black-eyed children that knock on doors and want to be inside your house, and God knows what they're going to do to you if you open the door. So don't open the door. It's like reliving a nightmare now. And
Yeah.
it's great. The trauma of that was duly noted because now we got creepypastas and shit that talk about it. The whole thing with that movie was great, and I recommend people watch it. Enough said.
Go ahead, Janet.
Oh, you want me to go next?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, there was just a few things, like there was a lot of continuity problems, little things like that, mostly technical stuff. There was a couple little gaps in the story for me that I felt like, I wish I had a little bit more clarity in there. But the overall experience for me was a good one. I enjoyed it. I jumped, a few times. I cried at a couple of the scenes. It was a well done for character arcs. It was entertaining throughout, I felt, and it was a believable story to the most part. Even though I know it was fantasy, a lot of people say, "Well, I don't like them. They're too not realistic enough." And I go, "But it's fantasy. It's not supposed to be real life." But I enjoy that type of movie, and for me, I'm going to give it a solid 8 out of 10. And I loved almost every aspect of this movie. I know I'm definitely going to watch it again, but I want to watch it on a bigger screen so that I can, get more out of the beautiful colors and textures, backgrounds, the animals. Oh, I just love the animals in the movie. The Clydesdale horses were just gorgeous. Some of the scenes of them running and just frolicking around. The tiger scene, the little puppy dog that was in there. The little boy is just a really good little actor. I just thought it was overall a good movie that you could watch with your kids if they're like, I'd say 10, 11 years old and older. I think you guys would enjoy it because it didn't have a lot of, bad things in it that I felt besides scariness, the scare factor. But there wasn't a lot of cuss words or sex or anything like that in it to where I felt would be inappropriate for young people. But this is a really good, solid movie to have fun and sit and eat popcorn and candy and enjoy together as a family. That's it. That's for me.
I have nothing to add except for my score because the other three panelists here have said everything I could possibly say, along with the other discussions we had. I'm going to give this movie an 85% definite rewatch. Thank you so much, one and all. Come back to us next week. We'll be watching the movie Manhunter, starring Brian Cox, and looking forward to that experiment. I've not seen it. Janet's not seen it. Looking forward to this. And thank you, Bear, for the recommendation on it. Everyone, have a great night.
Good night, everyone.